I said that I wanted to explain to you why I went away.
The audience meets Judy through her letters, so you only know this woman through her words.
Well, now I have lots of time.
When you read the letters in the book, it could be quite flat because it's just the written word. When you put a human being into those letters and you have her walk on stage and be in the same space as her son, you can see what it costs her to write those letters.
So I'm sitting on the sofa here with this letter and the radio on, and I'm going to try and explain.
The tension's building because although they are not speaking to each other, he's coming closer to his real mother on stage, saying this letter. And that became very interesting, that he's getting physically nearer to her with this train track, not looking at her, engrossed in the train track.
You grabbed the chopping board and you threw it and it hit my foot and broke my toes.
So it was highly emotional.
And I couldn't walk properly for a month. Do you remember? And your father had to look after you.
And I remember looking at the two of you and seeing you together and thinking how you were really different with him. Much calmer.
And it made me so sad. Because it was like you didn't need me at all.
And I think
it's a real build. Those moments of intensity, for me, were about the characters all inhabiting the same space, seemingly not communicating, but being more honest and open than they ever could be in real life.
He was really angry. He said I
couldn't talk to you.
And I didn't know what to do.
He said I was being selfish and that I was never to set foot inside the house again.
In a book which is about dishonesty and betrayal and death and love and thwarted love, I think that what you really need is a bit of playfulness.
Where is 451C, Chapter Road, London, NW2 5NG?
A to Z of London, £2.95. You gonna buy it or not?
I think that is what brings the play to life, really. You can't have a whole play or a whole book where it's tense and it's horrible and it's depressing because no one really is going to care about any of the characters.
I'm going to say something to you, and you must promise not to tell your father that I told you this.
You have to make people laugh and you have to make people enjoy themselves and enjoy the characters they're watching. Otherwise, they won't care about the dramatic moments.
Your mother, before she died, was very good friends with Mr. Shears.
I know.
No, Christopher, I'm not sure that you do know. I mean that they were very good friends. Very, very good friends.
Do you mean they were doing sex?
Yes, Christopher, that is what I mean.
I think because my adaptation was very loyal to the book, a lot of the comedy that underpins the tragedy comes directly from Mark's writing. It comes from his dialogue, it comes from his observations. I think maybe what I brought to it was a sense of the playfulness of the theatricality.
Get the tube to Willesden Junction or Willesden Green. It got to be near there somewhere.
What is a tube?
Are you for real?
It takes the audience a bit of time before they realise they're allowed to laugh. Between it being very sad and very emotional and very tense, and other times when it's actually quite quirky and fun because Christopher sees things in a different way.
You see the big staircase with the escalators?
I think the comedy comes from Christopher's very logical way of looking at the world, and I mean one of the things Christopher says is when he's asking Reverend Peters where heaven is.
It's another kind of place altogether.
There isn't anything outside our universe, Reverend Peters. There isn't another kind of place altogether.
Nearly all of the laughs every night on stage, they're really very rarely coming from someone trying to be funny. They're coming from places of misunderstanding between two people or people's points of view being completely at crossroads.
And if heaven was on the other side of a black hole, then dead people would have to be fired into space on a rocket to get there, and they aren't, or people would notice.